us your role, please, in what happened and what transpired with Jeremy's debate.
Well, Jeremy was visiting on one.
Sorry, Kevin. Unless you've turned into RoboCop, we're having some problems. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, let's try it one more time, and if not, we'll call you on another line.
Sure. Jeremy was visiting us in South Carolina here in the States for one of his regular visits to the United States, and he did my radio talk show with me, and then we set up the studio for him to do his interview with the BBC and his debate with the BBC, and we sat in, and I just kind of sat and listened to him kind of eat up, spit out his debate opponent, and talk what needs to be said, say what needed to be said, and do a great job making the points that needed to be made. And as far as I knew, everything was fine. I thought Jeremy did very well. He was eloquent in his comments. He was articulate, and he was right about the things he said. Got it when he was done also. And when we were done, we shut down the line to the BBC. Jeremy and I kibitzed a little bit, talked a little bit about things going on, and then Jeremy went and we haven't talked much since he left my studio, other than just a hello and a thanks and a good luck at your next stop and safe travels to you and a Happy New Year. That was the last I heard about it until I heard what the BBC pulled, and I don't understand it. I know that there are certain leanings that media take, and I don't like it. You would assume that there's some journalistic integrity still out there somewhere, but to hear some of the things and to hear the way they edited down his comments, it's disgraceful. It's a black eye on anyone who likes to call himself or herself a journalist, and it's just a real shame that it's gotten to the point now where you almost have to tape record your own interviews that you do for someone else just to have proof of what you said and didn't say in this age of technology where it's so easy to basically take something someone said and change it.
Well, Kevin, first of all, thank you for that. We appreciate you testifying to this. Now, the question is, did no one record it? I mean, it's painful. It's like so painful to me that no one did something like that. No recordings.
We did not tape it here at the radio station because we looked at this specific situation with Jeremy, even though he's become a friend to me and a friend to our station and a regular guest when he's here in the States. We looked at this pretty much as just loaning out our studio so that someone would have access to a microphone and an ISDN line to connect to the BBC, and it was as simple as that. It wasn't something where we felt it was even appropriate to listen in the other studio where we would tape record it. It was just a case of I sat there and listened to Jeremy because I enjoy hearing the way he speaks and what he has to say, and I learn something from Jeremy every time I hear him talk and discuss issues. So I wanted to be there just so I could hear what he had to say, but we had no inclination to tape it because it wasn't something that was ever going to run on our radio station. I had just had Jeremy on my radio show for 90 minutes the day before, so there was no reason for me to tape an interview he was doing overseas with BBC. Looking back now, I feel very bad about that, and I wish that we had taped that for Jeremy and for proof.
Well, Kevin, I got to thank you for that. It's not your fault. It's not our fault. We've all learned a lesson from this. One of them is record conversations. The other is BBC is a propaganda rag. Kevin, thank you so much for being here with us. And shalom, God's strength to you in America.
Thank you so much. Nice talking with you. Happy New Year.
Shana Tova. Jeremy, we'll be right back. Shalom Aleichem.
Israel. Appointment with Destiny. Every home should own this DVD. The story of the rebirth of Israel comes alive. This stirring documentary has been hailed as a most inspiring and comprehensive historical portrayal of the Jewish people, of Zionism, and of the State of Israel. It dramatizes the history of Zionism in a way that will make one feel a part of Israel's destiny. Check out the website at www.israelsdestiny.com. That's israelsdestiny.com.
Light Unto the Nations with Ari Abramowitz and Jeremy Gimpel.
Shalom Aleichem, and welcome back to A Light Unto the Nations. Ari Abramowitz here. Very heated show. We're in heated times in the world right now. Every spiritual leader that I'm speaking to, every single one says we're on the brink. We're in Ikvei de Mashiach. We're in the heels of Mashiach. Now, what do Chazal say, our great rabbis? They say that we're in the generation of the heel. What is the heel? The heel is the part of the body, the bottom. It's so calloused that it's hypersensitive to little trivialities. You take a little feather and you rub it on the heel and hee, laughing, it's so fun, it's ticklish. But what happens, you take a little nail and you jam it into the heel, it feels nothing. That's the generation we're in right now. The generation of the heel, where true pain, we're numb to it. Now, I want to just touch on what we were talking about the last half. My mistake was that I thought that these BBC journalists had some journalistic integrity. I was naive, I'll admit it. But we can't rely on their journalistic integrity. We can't appeal anymore to this fictitious feeling that there's an innate moral code that we expect the world to have. Journalistic integrity. What is integrity? It's being true to your value system. If you have no value system, then what is there to be true to? To whatever you want. They have no absolute, no moral code. It's completely circumstantially determined, and all they need is to have some spineless pastor on the show who will pitch their line, and that's it. We're no more appealing to moral codes. That's what I've learned. The only way to battle darkness in the world is with light. Not with more darkness, not with gray, not with a different shade of black. The only way is with light. The only way to battle lies is with truth. No more pandering. We need to dictate the terms. We can't say anymore, oh, well, we need to argue to the world based on United Nations resolutions because that's what they believe in. No, that's not our argument. Our argument, the only argument that works is exactly, Jeremy, the argument you made against Pastor Hunter. And that's why he left with his head down in shame. That's probably why he went back to his church and called BBC and said, don't air it, twist it, this kid destroyed me. That's probably why he did that. Is that why you did that, Pastor Hunter? The only way to battle lies is with truth, and that's what we need to do. And let me tell you what's happening in Israel right now. The generation of the heel. Right now, there is a knife being jammed into the heart of the communal Jewish people, and it's being twisted and turned and twisted, and we don't even feel it. Right now, on the Temple Mount, on Har HaBayit, the Muslim Waqf, the Muslim Authority, has been drilling to lay down some cables, and they actually struck the second temple. And when they saw this, what did they do? They started systematically destroying it and bulldozing it. The Prime Minister knows about it. Everyone knows about it. No one is doing anything. The only people that are ripping Kriya, the only people that are really mourning are the archaeologists. And Jeremy, let me just tell you, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Let me tell you what's happening. I met with Rabbi Chaim Richman, who we know is one of the greatest tzaddikim of our times. And he is distraught, and he is inspiring because he is showing me exactly the level of sensitivity and grief that should be in the heart of every Jew who has any clarity in the world. And, basically these Muslims, we tend to project, we project, but they have no sentimental attraction to carbon dating. They're not into the archaeological finds. They're not, have no nostalgic, wow, look at this rock, we found it from a long time ago, let's keep it. Why? For a number of reasons. One, they're still living in the Dark Ages. They are still completely connected to their ancestors, and that's something that we should envy, because they see themselves as a direct continuation, where we have this abstract, intellectual type enlightened feeling where we feel we're more enlightened and more advanced than our forefathers in the temple times, and we don't feel that personal, emotional connection to the temple. Not because it's some sort of archaeological artifact that has a wealth of all sorts of carbon in it. Because it's our temple and is the culmination of what the Jewish people are here for in the world. We have to wake up, and it's so painful to me. Have you been hearing about this, what's going on?
Well, when I started the show saying that I've been on such a wonderful mission here in the States, totally guided by Hashem in almost every single facet, I've been able to see God's guidance on this trip. When I said that I'm so fearful and so distraught and I feel so disconnected and helpless, it's exactly because of the news of the temple that I've heard. I don't understand why people aren't ascending to the Temple Mount in protest, why the archaeologists aren't ascending in protest, why the government isn't stopping it. They've found now the walls to the second temple. How can that be that we're allowing them to destroy it? It rips my heart out. And I'll tell you, it takes a lot to get me angry. I just don't have a temper. I don't know why. My father doesn't have a temper. I don't have a temper. two things on this trip have lit me up and got me so angry, and that was the BBC show. Boy, did that get me angry. The lies, the injustice, my neshama, my soul just called out with